Hello Internet, and welcome to this very first edition of Learning Factory Developer Diaries. It's been a month and a half since we've released our game to early access on Steam. In this video, I'm going to briefly show you what we have done so far, along with showing and giving you a little teaser of what are we working on currently. Without any further ado, let's switch to the game and see what's going on. A brand new building that we have added to the game just recently is called Loom, and unsurprisingly it's producing pieces of cloth out of cotton. Initially we were planning to add this building and this kind of resource a little bit later on, but we've decided to speed things up because we wanted to make the tutorial of the game smoother, so we needed an additional item for the very first shop. So this is why we've added Loom a little bit prematurely. It's very popular among typical red cats, and it's also used for making pillows, as you can see here. And Pillow Maker is now one of the more complicated pieces of machinery in the game, because it actually requires 3 different kinds of resources for producing those pillows. And also we've got a brand new kind of cats. You will see them shortly, lining up in front of a brand new smart cat store. We call them clerk cats, and the idea behind them is that they're buying some generic clerk stuff because supposedly they've been living with their clerk owners too long and now they have Stockholm Syndrome, and yeah. That's the legend behind clerk cats. Also, as you could probably notice, we have upgraded transporter looks to make them more obvious, because it was previously it was quite easy to confuse the direction of a transporter, and it happened to me more than once. Hopefully now problems like these would never occur again, or at least they would occur significantly less frequently, because our new transporters have very nice looking arrows. So there is now factory analytics in the monument. You have to click the statistics tab, and there you can see this whole new list called, optimistically called problem reports. What does this brand new function do? It simply selects graphs that are showing you what is supposedly going wrong on your factory. Say if some goods are underperforming, or if many cats of a certain type are particularly unhappy. The game notices it and collects data for you and shows it to you in forms of very nice looking colorful graphs, and the problems are for you to solve afterwards. Okay, back to minor changes. We have smoother graphs, we have more info in many buildings, for example in the lumber mill. We have updated localizations. In particularly, I would like to underline an updated Chinese localization, because it was particularly messy on the start, apparently, and we're very sorry for that. But we have improved it since then. Okay, before I switch to the stuff that we're currently working on, let me show you a little bit how Turing trees work. The trees are do not start multiplying immediately after they were planted. Instead, there is a little pause that allows you doing a lot of fun stuff with those trees. Later on in the game, we'll make it so those trees could be harvestable, so you could create your own, for example, infinite source of wood out of trees generated by algorithms of the game of life. Okay, that concludes the part in which we're talking about our current progress. Let me switch to the more experimental version and show you what are we working on these very days. This is officially the latest build of Learning Factory that exists in the world. Initially we were just going to add a tile map, so maps could be procedurally generated, but then we thought that it kinda does not make sense without the free play mode, which we were originally going to add way later in the development. Eventually we ended up making both features. There are lots of parameters which you can regulate to make your map look unique. But most importantly, there is this map key in the bottom of the screen, which you can copy and paste and send to some of your friends so they could play on the very same map as you do. You can also press randomize seed to generate whole different map with the very same parameters. Also, you can regulate whole bunches of stuff. As I've mentioned before, one of the parameters I would like to draw your attention to is fertility, but we will talk about it in a second. For now, let's just select landing site and go to the game. Here we are. Since this is a work in progress and very intermediate version, only parts of tiles and final graphics are actually present in the game. However, you can already see that it is going to be very diverse. Shoreline does not exist yet, but that's fine. So let's talk about fertile and infertile areas. Fertile areas summon those useful agricultural plants, such as cotton plants and apple trees, while infertile lands are rich with trees and also metal. Another feature in this game is that you can now raise plants from the ground and plant them somewhere else, but it has to be a growing plant. I'm not seeing one at the moment, but maybe we'll see some of them later. By the way, another important thing about fertility is that there are actually fertile parts of the ocean, which is reserved for the later part of the game when we will have fishing, as promised. Also, in one of the next versions, we'll add an opportunity to terraform the map, so you could drag pieces of soil or water around and shape the map even after it's been generated. Another interesting thing is new categories of buildings, which allow you to filter stuff respectively, because the interface tends to get messy when you have lots of buildings unlocked, and we will be definitely adding more buildings in the future. So we've decided to add this thing rather earlier than later. I'm still not finding any growing plants, which is kind of okay, because the rate of plants growing, it also depends on the fertility parameter. So they might be growing slower than they currently do in the game. And by the way, that map that you've been playing all this time, it will become obsolete once we're finished with this tile-generated shenanigans. So seize the moment, seize the day, and make sure you play on it as long as you like before it disappears forever. That concludes our demonstration for today. Let me switch to my camera briefly once again. And thank you for being with me today. My name is Georgie. I'm from a team called Luden.io, and we're making a game about factories, cats, and machine learning called Learning Factory. We'll be releasing new editions of Dev Diaries every month or so. And in the meantime, please feel free to subscribe to our social networks, chat with us on Discord. We're always looking for more feedback, and we're always happy to discuss things about the game to make it the best for you. So, until next time, have a nice day, evening, morning, or whatever it is right now where you're at. Bye-bye.